So it turns out I'm the only one at the office who doesn't have an IPS monitor at their desk. I'm not actually editing any photos or videos, but I thought to myself, do I need one? And would I notice a difference? We'll be doing a direct comparison to see the differences, and we're giving one away.
WD Purple Storage offers all-frame technology built for always-on HD surveillance security systems.
First off, my workstation is actually the only workstation in the office with matching LCD screens. Everyone else has at least 2 screens that are mismatched, but at least one of them is IPS. So I decided I'd join the rest of the guys and have a pair of mismatched monitors. The 2 LG LCDs on my desk are fabulous TN panels, so I'm actually super stoked to finally have an IPS panel. This is the Nixeus NX-VUE27D. What's inside the box is the base, stand, LCD, documentation, AC adapter, DisplayPort cable, a mini DisplayPort cable, and some screws to put everything all together. Now, taking a quick tour of the Nixeus NX-VUE27D, it is a 27-inch IPS monitor, has a 2560 by 1440 resolution. What's not immediately obvious is the edge-to-edge glass display. Now, that's important because even though it might cause a lot of glare in a bright room, it makes the colors really pop. Moving towards the bottom of the LCD, we find the control buttons, the power button, brightness adjustment, and reset. Now, for some odd reason, there's no on-screen display to let you know how much you've adjusted, but what's even more bizarre is the addition of these 3 extra buttons that actually don't do anything. Now, in the back, you'll only find DisplayPort as your only option, and I found it super weird that it actually doesn't take a standard ATX power cable, but instead it uses this weird 4-pin configuration that you rarely see with LCDs. And then you have my favorite feature in any monitor, the height adjustable stand that also has pivot, and of course, screen rotation. Now that the basic physical tour is over, next we're going to take a look at how it compares to one of my TN LGs that I use at my desk. Okay, now we have the IPS panel set up here and the TN panel set up here, and we are looking at a picture of the Age of Ultron poster. Now, just before we begin with the comparison, just keep in mind that what we see in real life versus what the camera picks up then is compressed in editing and then uploaded to YouTube will be different, so just take this comparison with a grain of salt. Now, with pictures, you can tell right away that the IPS is a bit superior than the TN panel. As you can tell by Hulk's green skin is a lot more vibrant compared to what looks like a bit more bluish gray, almost sort of green on the TN panel, as well as the darker areas of the poster are a lot more deeper on the IPS than it is on the TN panel, where this one's a bit washed out as well. Next up is the movie comparison. We have Big Hero 6 trailer playing, or rather paused, at the scene where the kid's at the police station. Now, the officer's face on the IPS panel is definitely a lot more lifelike. There's a lot more color, as in it's a lot pinker than what you see on the TN panel, where once again it's a bit muted in colors. It's not as washed out in movie trailer, but it's still not as nice as on the IPS panel. And finally, we have our gaming comparison. Now we have Battlefield 4 loaded up, everybody's favorite game here at the office. Now we are in the test range just because I didn't want to show how crappy a FPS player I am online. But anyways, in the test range, let's check a few things out, shall we? Okay, so first up, we're going to shoot this barrel, all right, until it starts to flame. Now you can see on the IPS panel, the fire is definitely a lot more orange, and on the TN panel, it's a bit more yellow. And there we go, we have a big explosion. Right, that explosion was really helpful, where you can see the deeper, vibrant colors on the IPS panel than on the TN panel. Next up, we are kind of facing the sun. We see this sort of solar flare, lens flare type thing on the screen. Once again, on the TN panel, it's a bit yellow / grayed out, muted colors, whereas the IPS panel, even for something like that, for the solar flare, it's definitely a lot more vibrant, like I've been saying throughout this entire video. Well, you guys get the point. But one last thing to note, if you are gaming with the IPS panel, the response times are definitely a bit slower versus TN panels. This particular 27-inch from Nixeus has a 6 milliseconds response time versus the LG's 1 milliseconds response time. Now, both those response times respectively are quite quick. You'd have to be some sort of superhuman to try and distinguish the two, but it is there. Some gamers do say that they do notice a difference, so That's one thing to keep in mind when choosing an IPS panel. So overall, the Nixeus NX-VUE27D, I was able to decipher which one was better in terms of color accuracy and which wasn't. I mean, it's got 16.7 million true colors. The sRGB color gamut is 100% accurate. So if you like watching movies or you are a content creator, whether it's photo editing or video editing, having the extra color accuracy from an IPS panel is definitely a plus over a TN panel. But, however, if you are a gamer and you're looking for the fastest response time and higher refresh rates, TN panels might still be the way to go for you. But if you were paying attention at the very beginning of the video, we are giving one of these heavy bad boys away. So all you gotta do is comment down below, let us know. Would you rather game on a TN panel or a IPS panel? And as always, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new. We will see you later.